Um, idea is trying to keep my quads somewhat loose, and it's a good joke for the feet. But Mike Foppin was the first to name me Jack the Baker on the circuit. So this thing was being whipped out in the elite tent. The Kenyans didn't know what was going on. In fairness though, it's dead handy yoke just to have in the bag and stuff. It is harder than any, like these foam rollers and stuff. I actually think they're kind of useless because they're too they're too soft or something, whereas this thing is way smaller. Throw it in the bag and you can just kind of do a bit of this. So Kieran McCallion, my feet, is going to be very happy seeing me rolling my feet because I get tight feet. Yeah, I just think like with the body and stuff, you can never be too mobile. I'm on the middle of double threshold days, so just trying to get the hips and stuff a bit looser, and that should hopefully have me feeling a little better in the session.
And what was the idea behind doing morning session and then evening session?
So I'm racing in France on Wednesday week in Marseille in a 3K, and I kind of come at, I suppose, running and all my racing from a real aerobic side. So I know, just say I'm coached by Emmett Dunleavy, and like myself and Dara always being like, our training is always being compared because of how different it is, I suppose. Like Dara would never do double threshold the week of a race, whereas I kind of do like a reduced double threshold because I just seem to respond really well to that kind of aerobic stimulus. Whereas Dara would probably do like something a little shorter and harder and kind of less aerobic. So it is interesting just the different ways that the two of us kind of run a 5K, you know. So yeah, this morning session was, what did I do? 5 by 5 minutes on the treadmill, just inside there, and then I'm going to go wind dependent. I'll do 300s if it's blowing a gale on 2 of the 100s, and if it's kind of a nice wind, I'll do the 400 as planned. So usually on a double threshold day, I do 6 by mile in the morning and 16 by 400, or 6 by a mile, 6 by a mile, 16 by 400, or 20 by 300, and then with the race in 5 days, I'm doing 5 by a mile and either 12 by 400 or 16 by 300. So just a mile or two shorter than normal. Which I suppose this is the constant battle for everyone training in Ireland, isn't it? Trying to deal with this wind.
Do you want to tell us about a few recent race results?
Yeah, so I've had, what have I done so far? I've done the 3K in Belfast, Irish Milers, or no, it's not Irish Milers, Belfast Classic. Eamon Christie's going to kill me for that. Belfast Classic, ran the International Men's 3K, came third. I ran 7:48. Henry McLuckie won it and Callum Morgan was second. I think that was, it was a outdoor PB. My outdoor PB officially I think it was 8:08, so I would have been quite disappointed if I didn't get that, you know. So yeah, that was a good run, and I just needed kind of a rust buster to kind of get the season started because it's been a while since I raced. And then went over to Berlin for the Mass 5K, and I won that, so that was good crack. Fairly cool running underneath my history is not great, but the big famous thing all the lads run under in the Berlin Marathon. The finish line was basically underneath that, so it was fairly cool. It was a 1 mile long finishing straight, which was not for the faint-hearted, I cannot lie. A lot of lads were looking at the finish line for the whole mile, and the finish line was not getting closer. I am lucky though. I ran a race not too long ago, back in college days in America, and I actually had a similar experience. It was an 800 meter long finish, and I actually kicked way too early, and I blew up. Like I caught the guy in front, and I actually ended up dying because I was just kicking for like a minute and a half or something. And anyway, long story short, that experience I kind of half learned from it. So in that 5k, I didn't look at the finish line for, I'd say I was only watching the pace. The car in front of us had a big clock on it, so I was just watching the clock. And once I think it kind of hit like 12 minutes, I was like, right, about 600 meters to go, boot it. But yeah, got second all time Irish in that. I was really hoping to get that national record, but yeah, I won the race, couldn't do much more than win it. So hopefully now in the future I can have another cut at it in Monaco or Valencia, you know. But yeah, this decent enough season so far. Kind of obviously the goal for me is Birmingham Europeans 10k. I'm hoping I can try and get the 5k standard as well, and as I said to a few people, I hope I have to make that decision on do I double or do I just do the 10k, but I hope that's a problem I have in the near future.
What's on the cards then for the season?
Yeah, so double threshold day, so this is the second session of my day. Hopefully it's going to be 12 by 400. I kind of 10k effort, so 3 to 4 millimole. I will just kind of make a judgment call on the wind though. If the wind is howling out there and the 300s are easier, that I could just kind of half not run straight into the wind, I probably will do that, just because again these are the things you have to do in Ireland, trying to just get the stimulus right, because there's no point flogging yourself into a wind trying to hit paces, because the effort is through the roof then trying to hit splits, you know. Minutes. Whew. Whew. I'd say 300 are looking likely.
Pretty windy.
I'm not liking that wind. Oh. Yeah, I just think it's just not worth. Like when you're fighting into a wind, you have to forget about splits, you have to forget about everything and run to effort. And 300s, I can somewhat avoid the wind and hit the same stimulus that I want. So I'm going to do 16 by 300 instead, which I think is the play. Emmett, don't come after me if you completely disagree. So I have carb mix in the small one, and I just have normal water in the big one. I started doing that recently instead of gels. I like having the water element, like as in mixing like the carb mix into water, just because you're just sweating a lot on these double threshold days, and at least this way you're somewhat staying on top of hydration, as well as just getting your fuel in, you know. There's 40 grams of carbs in that bottle. I'll just be supping away to that for the whole session, and then I should basically be finished that by the end, which yeah, just find is really good. Keeps the energy levels somewhat normal on these big days. You're getting in, like today not so much, I'll probably get like 18 miles today, but like a normal double threshold day is 21, 22 mile, warm up, cool downs, 6 by mile, 20 by 400. So yeah, just good to keep. I nearly find double threshold days, it's like the running is great, but it's all the fuel and the eating. Like I sent a photo there earlier to my family. I was like, just a big bowl of pasta just for a snack, you know. So you can't actually eat enough, but then you're going to keep an eye on your stomach issues. It is blowing a gale though, isn't it? You can agree?
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Thank you. I'm always trying to fight that battle of, am I soft or am I being sensible? I think I'm being sensible. Right, let's go do it.
I got it all good. I don't know if you can hear me in the camera still, but tell me another place in the middle of the country you'd find seagulls outside of Mullingar. Where they come from, I have no idea. See, now if the wind is like this, could be 400s. It's kind of gone again. Fuck. Yeah, I suppose a lot of people are probably like, I know a few people have said to me, surely you're sponsored by this stage, but like, I don't think people really understand how hard it is nowadays to get like a kick contract, you know. You really have to be just the best in Europe / the world nowadays, and then like my problem is my age is against me, so like I'm 28 years old now, which, you know, for a brand that's just means I have to be even better than most to get a contract. So hopefully if I run 13 O's this year, please God, that might be enough to get something, you know. But then I suppose everything with times, like, you know, my goal this whole season now is like that win in Berlin was class, and I want to keep that mindset of every race I race, I'm in it to try and win it. And if you keep on turning up to these big races, keep on beating a load of pros, you know, a contract has to come knocking at some stage. That all comes with just running really well, you know. Whew. Right, get started. I think I was saying earlier, I used to be so time orientated on these, whereas like now I really try to just run to effort, run to feel, make sure it feels controlled, threshold, you know, as much as 4 minimal can feel controlled, but it should just feel kind of comfortable, and just trying not to force things. Like, I think coming back, I think everyone's a victim of this. I was like, you know, 66s, 65s was the pace for 400s I was doing over summer when I was in PB shape. And then coming back, I tried to run 66s, and shock, I was at 5 millimol. You know, you can't just always be doing the same pace. So anyway, hopefully I'm feeling very fit, so hopefully it should be fairly quick. So I'm gonna do, 8 by 300, take a lactate, 8 by 300, done. And yeah, should be 3 to 4 millimol, and yeah, should be nice. Right.
My baby and you, put your loving arms around me. My baby and you, put your loving arms around me. My baby and you, put your loving arms around me. And you, put your loving arms around me, around me, around me, around me. And you, my baby and my baby and you, put your loving arms around me, my baby and you.
Good sample. Four oh. Right, not too bad. Nice. Whee. Yeah, that was 48, so I probably just need to touch off a little bit. Ooh. That should drop though. Ooh. Right, take 2.5 minutes and then go again. It was funny that sometimes you get that with double threshold. Like the first 3 reps I felt rank, and then all of a sudden I went from 50s to like 48. I went, oh shit, okay, feel like you're hold back on the brakes a little, you know. 4 mil, that's fine. I should be down to, I'd say, 3.5 if I keep the same pace, so that's good. 300s were definitely the call. That last 50 meters in that 300 into the wind, oh sweet Jesus, that was look.
So I just let anyone know who's not Mullingar, what he in lane 3.
Yes, the infamous, you see, Mullingar like to do things differently. So we thought lane 1 was a bit too obvious, so we go on the blue line instead of lane 3. To be fair, I think it is something to do with there's just not a lot of gap on the edges, so they had to go lane 3 to get, and it's actually kind of handy because all the kids and stuff when they're in training, they can actually go in lane 1, lane 2, and we can actually get lane 3. So in that way it does work, but it is funny, there was one of the lads did 8 by a K before in lane 1, not the 380 metre lane 1, and was delighted they were running 3 flats, buzzing with themselves, says they're in the shape of their lives. They're doing 950 metres probably. But anyway, right, we go again. See if the monitor agrees. Watch together. Nice. That was good. God, the temptation on them when you're feeling good to rip it is ridiculous, but I'm being a good, sensible, mature athlete and stick to my 49s. Good session. Ooh. That was a nice little windbreaker as well. Oh fuck, here we go now. Yeah, I think just like threshold is it's just such an individual thing that like you really have to run it to feel, you know what I mean? Like even there, like that first 4 reps there, I think I was running 50s, and like I mean I felt just heavy, horrendous. So I was like, nope, just stick to this, and next thing all of a sudden I started running 48s, same effort, do you know what I mean? Legs shook into it. started feeling good, and then monitor 4:0 and 3.6. That's fairly spot on now. So Marseille 3K in today Friday, 5 days time.
When are you
Should,
flying out to Marseille?
I'm flying on Tuesday. Yeah, flying on Tuesday. Race Wednesday at like, geez, what time is that? It's like 9 p.m. I think French time, so 8 p.m. Irish time. Yeah, no, it should be good. I don't know what the field is now, but it was 1 in 7:41 last year, and my PB is 7:42. So if I'd love to break my PB. Like I don't know how close I am to 7:30s, but you know, I'm a 10k half marathon guy, so if I can get anywhere near under sub 7:40, I'd be absolutely buzzing. So hopefully, again, I'm not time conscious, I'm more get into the race to win, and hopefully if I win it, that's enough to break the 7:40 barrier, and if not, if I won, I'll be still buzzing, you know. Yeah, good session. It's always nice when the lactate monitor agrees with the paces you were doing, so that's usually the hardest part to correlate. But yeah, no, good session. That's just, these double threshold days are checking boxes, and especially now 5 days out from Marseille. Today is just about hitting the stimulus, which is kind of that 10k effort in the evening, and just leave yourself kind of fresh, but you still get, like, what was that, 5 by 5 minutes this morning, and then 16 by 300 this evening. You're still getting about 8 or 9 miles of good threshold work in a race week, so you're getting good aerobic stimulus, and then have a nice 3k to kind of hit the speed side of things. So no, yeah, buzzing with that. Hopefully Emmett is fairly buzzing with that. I know he will be with the numbers, but I'm still very proud of myself. Lads can call you soft with the wind, but I just think running is hard enough as it is, and sometimes if you have to make adjustments just to hit the right effort, hit the right stimulus, do those adjustments, whether that be a treadmill, whether that be do some 300s instead of 400s. I'm just a big believer in the work will be done, just you might have to switch it up sometimes depending on weather, you know.
One of the fastest athletes in Europe at the moment that is unsponsored.
Now, don't quote me on that, but I'm 90% sure 27:41 and 13:22, I'm punching around that mark of, I don't know if anyone's actually faster than me, and doesn't have a kit deal. So yeah, that'd be a nice thing to have by the end of summer, that I could officially be the fastest man in Europe unsponsored. But hopefully, you know, like we said, this is great, YouTube is great, promoting the sport is great, but we have to live as well. And if that means starting off a page like Mullingar Mafia to help out the likes of myself, an athlete who, you know, the goal is the Olympics, everything is leading towards the Olympics, and there'll be so many European Championships, World Championships in between that. And, you know, to make those goals a reality, we just need some help, and whether that be from a big brand like your likes of Nike, Adidas, and then between local sponsorship, you know, it takes a village, and hopefully we can get a few big results, which we're getting, but, you know, every little bit helps, and hopefully, you know, we can all achieve our dreams. And yeah, what a life to live, we can achieve all those dreams, you know.
And what was, or whose initial idea was it to set up Mafia?
I think Timmy is definitely the founder as such of the Mafia, Timmy Murphy. But, you know, I think this year really cemented, like, you know, we were taking on the likes of Candor up north and at National Cross, and, you know, officially now we're the second best senior club in the country in endurance running, and, you know, that's a title now we're really eyeing up for. You know, next nationals, we really want to win that title. The last time Mullingar Harriers won that was 2000, and that was kind of the glory days for Mullingar Harriers in the senior men's side. So we'd love to really bring back those days, and I think we're very close to having that now. The likes of young Diarmuid Fagan, a 13:44 man, just come onto the scene. Really, like that time has opened doors left, right, and centre for him. So hopefully, you know, I hope in a way he's not on our team in November time because he's got a big scholarship to America. But if not, you know, we have plenty of guys to back up ours, you know, myself, Dalton, and all the rest of the lads. And yeah, it's just class that Mullingar we have so many guys, we're all friends and we've all trained together our whole lives, and just for all of us to be from the one town is just, I think, is pretty unique. I don't really know many other towns in the country, you know, rural towns that is the case. And you know, again, you'll see plenty on the YouTube, but the facilities we have here, like we have everything we need to be the best club in the country and be the best athletes in the country. So yeah, day by day, hopefully we get there, you know. So yeah, Birmingham obviously is the big goal for the whole season. I've said it from the very start, every single race, every single session. I've been talking to my sports psychologist about it. Like, that's whenever I'm having a hard day, whenever things are tough, I picture being on that start line and being in the middle of that 10K on the 15th of August. And that is my motivation for this whole season. So really now, I've only just noticed in the last week, I've really started to see things just kind of turning a bit. So like, we're at the 5th of June now, and I just think everything is starting to roll nicely. Pace are getting much faster. Lactates are staying low, which is most important. And I just think, yeah, all roads to Birmingham right now, and I cannot wait to have that Irish single on me. And you know, who knows, 5th of Eurocross in December. I probably, before that race, if I told you I was going to come 5th, no one would have believed me. So I'm a big believer in get on that start line. It doesn't matter what time you have. If you're feeling good in the day and if you're in PB shape, anything can happen. So that's my whole goal of Birmingham, is to rock up to that race in the shape of my life and try and produce the run of my life again.